Hello and welcome to the PUP Fantasy Podcast, Week 14 of the 2017 season. I am Aaron Pankey. With me is always...
I am John Venomous, and I have a little bit more of a voice than I've had in the last week.
And with us, we brought on a listener who might be joining us in the future, but we'll see how he performs tonight. His name
Making his official debut.
Let's give it up for Andy Van Dyke.
Hello. Happy to be aboard.
So last week we were okay, I felt. Our hits that we were positive were Lynch, Goodwin, Cohen, Zay Jones, McGowan, Bortles. I can't believe I just said that, and Aguilar.
I won money putting Bortles in a lineup. You shut your mouth.
And we were not so good with my pick, which we already told you 2 weeks ago. Don't select this guy, and then I did it anyways. Hundley. So hopefully you didn't listen to me on that one. And then Kirk Cousins also. So I think I'm the poopy one this week with the bad misses this week. Next up, we have the Thursday night game. Let's just jump right into it. We have the Saints at the Falcons, and the Saints are a 1-point favorite. Two teams headed for the playoffs possibly, and I'm going to go with the Saints running backs, which are the obvious choice in this one, and I'm going to go with Cabrera.
I think it's for sure Kamara, especially if Ingram, who is listed on the injury report with a toe injury, if Ingram doesn't go, it's Kamara for sure. It's Kamara all day. I put him in every lineup, 100% ownership. Other than that, you could pick and choose who you want to take out of those two. But I'll take a flyer on Matt Ryan as well. I think that the Falcons are going to have to throw to keep up with the Saints in this game. And if the Saints are successful running the football, I think Matt Ryan's going to have to throw a lot just because they're not going to have the ball for a whole lot of time.
So are you going with Ryan or Kamara?
If Ingram is hurt, I'll go with Kamara. If both backs go, I'm going to go with Ryan.
Okay. That doesn't make any sense. But anyways.
It does.
So let's bring in the listener now. Andy, you've listened to the show for a while. Kind of know the format. Why don't we have you decide who you'd rather go with? And if you want to choose something else, go ahead. So,
and Andy, real quick before you make your decision, I just want to point this out. Aaron, don't push me on a choice between Kamara and Matt Ryan when you've clearly taken both of the Saints running backs. So it's not like you've narrowed your choice down either.
No, I'm not saying. I mean, the obvious choice is the Saints running back, but I'm going to pick Kamara over Ingram in this one. I don't want Ingram. I'm going to take Kamara. I almost made him my running back of the week, but he was priced way too high, so I didn't.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, listener.
You guys are fighting already. It's game one. I'm profusely sweating. So, thanks. I'm gonna go with Vinny. I think that the Falcons were shut down last week, and I know the Saints defense is playing better this year, but I just kind of think that when teams get shut down, the next week they typically bounce back unless they're Tampa Bay. So,
I like him already.
I'm going to go with Vinny there. I just think that it's a big game for the Falcons. I think they come out firing.
I'm sorry.
All right, very well. Let's go on.
All right, moving on to the Sunday early slate. We have the Green Bay Packers going to the Cleveland Browns. The Packers are favored by 3 points. My pick in this game is going to be Josh Gordon. They're going to do everything they can to find out what they have in Josh Gordon, and I don't think quarterback be damned, whether it's Deshaun Kaiser or my mom, it doesn't really matter. They're going to find out what they have, and because they need to know whether they're going to pay Josh Gordon in the future. Their season's already tanked. And if there's one thing that the Packers they can rush the passer, but they can't cover anybody. So if they can throw early and get it to Josh Gordon and let him, you could see 125, 150 yards, touchdown easily.
Here, I think the Browns know what they have in Gordon. Gordon played up against Casey Hayward last week and was 4 for 85. I'm pretty sure against one of the top corners, they know what they got there. So I'm going with the Packer defense because their only weapon is going to be Josh Gordon. And so they're going to be getting that pass rush going. They're going to be getting some sacks. Maybe Lowry gets another fumble, interception, touchdown. I like that. So Packers defense in this one. Andy.
I mean, you better be right if the Packers are going to win the football game, which they desperately need. I think that did you guys see Gordon last week? Did you see him? He looked good.
He looked real good.
I saw something that said if he had a better quarterback, he'd have had 200 yards receiving.
Yeah.
He was that wide open on some of those throws.
He looked great.
Packers should trade for him.
I completely agree.
I just think that the Packers, I'm going to take the Packers running backs if that's an option for me because they have to. And I don't know what else they're going to do there. So whether it's Williams or Aaron Jones, I think they have to have a big game.
I like that.
It's Williams.
I like that pick. Next up, we have the Colts at the Bills. There's no line yet. Tyrod Taylor's injury, we'll have to see and watch that. And so I think the best quarterback in this game is Jacoby Brissett, and that's why I'm going to take him. If the Bills have no offense, they got to put in Peterson, then Brissett should be able to flourish in this game. He's not going to score a lot. He's not a top 5. It's just who I'm picking this week.
I'm going to go with Marlon Mack. The Bills can't tackle anybody. They can't stop the run. The Colts need to find out what they have for 2018. Frank Gore is not their back of the future. If Nate Peterman ends up making that start and throws another 5 interceptions, then there's no way that this isn't a blowout with the Colts winning, which means Marlon Mack is going to get all the garbage time carries anyway. But he's gonna get at least 12, 15 carries anyway. They need to figure out what they have there. So I'll take Marlon Mack.
Another sneaky start is depending on if White, who was hit by Gronk, doesn't play, then the backup is really slow, and so T.Y. Hilton could go off for a big game on that one too.
Sure.
Look, I mean, if you're starting anybody other than LaShawn McCoy in this game, I don't know. Who do you really want to start? I know what you're doing here. I know that that's what the game is, but are you even in the playoffs if you're starting anybody other than LaShawn McCoy in this game?
No.
Yeah, good point. All right. But Daily Fantasy, yep, you're moving on. Good point. All
right. Next game is the Chicago Bears at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are favored by 7 points. I'm going to go with Tyler Kroft in this game. The Bears have been sneaky good defending wide receivers, but their linebackers are really not good at all. So I will take Tyler Kroft. I think the Bengals put up points, and if they get into the red zone, that's their target.
I don't know if you watched the game last night, but Lev Bell went off for, over 150 yards rushing, right? Maybe 180?
I think it was combined yards, but sure. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he went off for quite a few yards. So I'm going to go with Howard as my running back of the week in this one.
He's clearly he's just as good as Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, same team.
Yeah.
Well, the Bears can only run, and so that's
what
they're going to do.
I don't know.
Yeah, so Howard's going to be my running back of the week.
Okay.
The Bengals will continue, especially with Perfect out. They will continue to give up yards to Howard. He's going to be the running back of the week.
Again, both these teams make me want to just light myself on fire. So I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what I'd say here. I think Tyler Kroft has played well considering. I mean, those of us that drafted Eifert and got jacked by it.
Yep.
Kroft's been a serviceable replacement. And Jordan Howard has rushed for 40 yards in 2 games this season. So I'm going to go with Kropp.
Bounce back.
What's that?
Bounce back week then?
55 yards maybe? What a disappointment he's been this season. Man.
Okay, Raiders at the Chiefs. KC is -4. Boy, I would take the Raiders in that game. Crabtree is back. Off of the suspension, I think he's going to bounce back and he's going to perform. He's going to get a touchdown and 100 yards.
I don't think so. I think Marcus Peters on one side. They added
Revis?
Yes, Darrelle Revis.
That's
so
right.
they're gonna. I'd take Jared Cook in this game. They're gonna attack the middle of the field. They even though Revis is 700 years old, he can still lock a guy down. So I will take Jared Cook.
I mean, I guess I would just say that if the Chiefs have any hope of making the playoffs, like they have to do something. So I would maybe you see a return of the running game. I mean, Alex Smith threw for what, like 600 yards last week, and they still
lose. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I would think that you have to start running the football again. I don't know, but I mean, if I had to go between your two picks, I would take Crabtree just because I imagine he's fairly angry and wants to prove something. I don't know.
You would think that there would be some sort of statistician in the Chiefs office that say that, okay, when we were getting Kareem Hunt enough touches to get him 125 to 150 yards from scrimmage, and we were 5-0, and then we're 1-6 since then, like, and he doesn't get that, like, we should get him the ball more. Like,
they did change the offensive coordinator, so Reed can just eat donuts now instead of calling plays. So we'll see what happens in the second game.
There's that.
So we'll see. I mean, it was the first game. They did light it up, but they didn't win. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, moving on. The Dallas Cowboys are going to the New York Giants. The Cowboys are favored by 5 points. My pick is my pass catcher of the week. Tight end of the week is Jason Witten. The Giants are awful against tight ends. They have been all season long. And don't overthink this one. He's going to get like 9 catches. He's probably only going to get 77 yards off those catches, but he probably ends up with a touchdown. So just take him.
So you've played the don't overthink this one now 3 weeks in a row. The first week you were right. The second week you were not right.
But I didn't overthink it either time.
And you continue to play tight ends against the Giants and the last 3 weeks, and they don't work. So Spagnuolo is now the head coach.
Now that you said that, it's going to work.
Spagnuolo's the coach. Eli is going to start. I don't even like this pick. I hate this pick. I don't like watching him. But Eli is my quarterback of the week. He's going to come back and he's going to light it up, especially because the Cowboys are headed south. I can't believe they're a 5-point favorite in this game.
Have you watched the Giants game lately?
Yeah, but you throw the records out.
No.
McAdoo is out. You throw the records out. This doesn't matter. Eli is going to be on fire.
Quick shout out to my brother Mike, who on Monday morning sent me a text that said, "Toodaloo, McAdoo." I told him he needs to start writing headlines for that stuff. That was fantastic.
As much as I hate to agree with Aaron on anything ever, like whenever a coach
I know, right?
It's tough. It's very challenging. But when a coach gets fired, typically they come out hot, fired up, and I don't know. If it's going to happen for the Giants this year ever, it's this game. That's all I'd say about it.
And it will kill the Cowboys. This is the game that will kill them. They will be done for making the playoff run.
Yep, for sure.
So you're leaning my side. Great. All right, next game. Lions at the Bucks. There is no line because we saw that Stafford had maybe hurt his wrist, his hand area. So we'll see where his injury is. So I am going to go with the Buccaneer. Mike Evans did nothing against the Packers. And as a listener said, guys that didn't do well one week, are going to bounce back. Mike Evans is an elite player. He's going to bounce back this week and get some big points in fantasy.
But the Buccaneers team defense as a whole is not good. Not that you would know that by watching a Packer game last week.
You're right. They lost to Hunley.
Yep. But if Matt Stafford is out, Jake Rudock is my quarterback of the week.
Wow.
And it's my quarterback of the week because he's only going to cost you $4,500 on DraftKings, and you can load up everywhere else because they're still going to be able to throw the football with Jake Rudock.
Where did Rudock play college?
I want to say Iowa, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
When was he drafted?
I believe he was undrafted. I believe he is a rookie.
So you're going to take an undrafted rookie from maybe Iowa, which I don't know Iowa to be this passing team in college, to be your quarterback of the week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But if Stafford does play, I will take Theo Riddick.
Oh, you're going to do that? Oh,
because I think they're going to nurse their hand. I think they're going to nurse his hand. Otherwise, he's clearly not going to be 100% either way.
Listener, what do you think?
Again, if Stafford doesn't play, I'm probably going to watch like -4 minutes of this football game. Like, I don't know how anybody watches this game ever. These teams are borderline hideous to watch.
That's what the red zone channel is for. They don't show this game if it's not if it's just played between the 30s.
I mean, just good Lord. Like, I don't know. I don't even know who I'd take. Like, you guys, listen, I admire you both for picking somebody in these games. Like, I don't even I'll take the refs, I guess.
You can take a defense if you want to.
Really? Which one? I mean, gosh, I would just. Can you imagine being a Bucs fan right now, man? But no, I mean, Mike Evans is the best player on the field. I don't know how, I guess that's what I would say. I don't know who else. Yeah. What would you do, man?
Way to go, listener.
Well, seriously, come on.
All right, moving on. The Minnesota Vikings are at the Carolina Panthers. The Vikings are a 3-point favorite on the road at Carolina. I'm going to take Adam Thielen in this game because I don't think that they should be favored by 3. So I think they're going to have to throw the entire game. And when they throw, it's clearly going to Adam Thielen, and there is no other. Stephon Diggs is talented, but he doesn't get nearly as many looks as Thielen does, so I'll take Adam Thielen.
I'm going to go with the Vikings to dominate again in this game. I need them to do that if the Packers want to make the playoffs too. And so I'm going to go with Latavius Murray in this game. Continues to be hot, continues to get touches, may not score 2 touchdowns, but he's going to at least get 1 touchdown. And so he's my running back of the week, Latavius Murray for the Vikings.
So you're doing that with your heart, right? Like, this is a pure heart pick? Right?
Well, I want the Vikings to win, but I still would take Murray in this game, even if the Packers were out. I think Murray's going to have at least 1 touchdown in this game and quite a few yards. I mean, he continues to get more touches ever in the last 4 weeks.
Okay. No, I think that the Vikings streak comes to an end here. I do think Thielen. Thielen's got like 84, 85 grabs on it's something crazy. I know it's
ridiculous. Yeah.
It's somewhere in there. Like, I know it's 80 or somewhere around 80. I'm sure Thielen gets his touches. I'm actually going to take McCaffrey. I mean, that dude has been, if you drafted McCaffrey in the 3rd or the 4th round, like,
oh my God. Congratulations.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
So, I think that the Panthers get up for this game, and I think McCaffrey has a big one. That's just me.
All right. Well, we got the 49ers going to the Houston Texans. The Texans are a 2.5-point favorite. I'm going to tell you who's going to win the game, and it's going to be the 49ers, and Garoppolo is going to lead them to that win. I'm taking Garoppolo, even though he's not going to be a top 5 quarterback. So I don't really like any of the picks in this game, but I'm just going to take Garoppolo.
Running back of the week is Lamar Miller versus the worst rushing defense in the league. So, yep, Lamar Miller. That's the pick. Done.
I mean, I don't think I even need to say anything here, right? Okay.
I concur would have been enough. Moving on.
I do.
Moving on to the Sunday afternoon slate. The New York Jets are at the Denver Broncos. The Jets are 1.5 point. Are you serious? Really? That's right. Weird.
Well, that's what it was.
The Jets
yeah.
are 1.5 point road favorites at the Broncos. That is nuts. Give me Demaryius Thomas all day long. If Trevor Siemian's still going to be the quarterback, he seemingly only has eyes for Demaryius Thomas. And if that line is right, then there's no reason that the Broncos aren't going to be throwing the football the entire game. So, yep.
I'm going to check the line here. Now it's only -1 for the Jets. But
well, okay.
But I'm in the camp that the Broncos offense could now be the worst offense there is in the league. And the defense is tired of playing on the field all the time. And so I'm going to go with Matt Forte. The old legend continues to get it done in this game.
You said it, Aaron. I'm actually going to take the Jets defense. They're so bad. They're awful. So again, this is another one of those games like you couldn't pay me to go to it. So yeah. I'm going to take the Jets defense.
That's an exaggeration. Come on now.
I mean, come on.
Well, here's another stellar matchup. The Titans at the Cardinals. The Titans are -3. And when you think about the Cardinals, you only think Larry Fitzgerald. And since that's all you think, he's the only person they throw the ball to. So they're going to have to throw it to him every single play of every time they're on offense to do anything. So I'm going to take Larry Fitzgerald.
I'm going to take Derrick Henry in this game. I think the Titans are going to cruise in this game. And lately, when the Titans need to run out clock, they hand the ball to Derrick Henry. And I guess 2 out of the last 5 times they've had to do that, Derrick Henry's ended up with a 75-yard rushing touchdown. So I'll take Derrick Henry. I think he's going to get at least 20 carries, which probably puts him well over 100 yards. Give me a touchdown. I'll take him.
If the Cardinals are going to be in the football game, Fitzgerald has to get lots of touches. That's all I would say. It's got to be Fitzy.
That Blaine Gabbert throwing him the football yet?
He's better than Ruddock.
That's Rudock to you, buddy.
Rudock.
Come on. Get it right. Get it right.
Oh, man.
The Jake Rudock era is about to begin in Detroit. You better recognize. Moving on, we are going to the Washington Redskins. Wait
a second. Did you see interruption? Did you happen to see they tried to blow up the Silverdome and the explosive didn't work and they had to do it twice?
That's fantastic.
What's better? The fact that stadium took twice to blow up, or when they blew up the was it the Georgia Dome? The Weather Channel, and the bus comes in the front, and then you don't even get to watch it explode. Which one's better?
I'm gonna say the Silverdome, just because, having watched documentaries as to how many explosives they have to put into those places to make those things fall down, And then not to have that thing fall down, like that thing has to be built on cockroaches. That is the only explanation for what just happened there. Moving on, the Washington Redskins are at the San Diego Chargers. They're not in San Diego anymore. They're in Los Angeles. They're Los Angeles Chargers. I'm just going to start calling them the San Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 6 in this game. Hunter Henry is listed as questionable with a knee. If he plays, that's my pick. If he doesn't play, I want every bit of Antonio Gates.
Okay, you can't keep doing these two.
I have to keep doing this thing because you're asking me to do this on a Tuesday.
No, pick one or the other.
Antonio Gates, because I know he's going to play.
Okay. Well, I think it's going to be a blowout, and so I'm going to go Eckler in this. He's going to get a lot of touches. Probably score, and nobody will play him. Nobody will even have him on their team yet.
It's because you can't even
pick him up.
Right.
He's still sitting on the waiver wire, so.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know who Eckler is. No idea.
He's the backup for more Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, he sounds really bad. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Keenan Allen's caught like 45 balls in the last 3 weeks.
He's really good.
525 yards. So I'm going to take him. I don't know.
He's playing against Josh Norman. I don't know if you've seen him. He's pretty good himself.
He catches in the last like 3.5 weeks. I don't look, man.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Josh Norman's pretty good.
He's good at commercials. I don't know.
Yeah.
And how many catches does Dez have? 0.
So Josh Norman's clearly winning the battle of the who texted who, I guess, in the commercial.
Right.
Okay, Eagles at the Rams. The Los Angeles Rams, who have no fans at their stadium, are -2 against the Eagles. So if you watch the Eagles-Seattle game, what did Seattle do successful against the Eagles? They had Wilson drop back like 40 yards and then throw the ball like 50 yards, and then eventually they got down the field and scored. And so I think the Rams are going to do something similar with their passing game, and so I'm going to take Goff in this one. The passing game is going to work against the Eagles. I'm going with Goff.
I'm going to take Jay Ajayi in this game. The Eagles never went home, so this is not really a time zone issue for them. This is a business trip, and Jay Ajayi has looked more and more comfortable running in that offense since he got there. And surprisingly, even with Aaron Donald in the middle, the Rams are really not that great at stopping the run. So I'll take Jay Ajayi.
I like both those picks. I think if the Rams are going to win, Goff has to have a great game. So I'm going to go with Goff. But you're right. I agree. Jay Ajayi looked, for what it was last week, even against Seattle, Jay Ajayi looked great when he was young.
Yep. Moving to the next game. Those same Seattle Seahawks that Aaron was disparaging just now are at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are favored by 3 points in this game. I keep doing it every week. I'm going to not stop because I think he's really good. Give me some D.D. Westbrook. I really don't trust the Seahawks secondary right now. I think their pass rush is still going to be great, but D.D. Westbrook out of the slot. I'll take him.
And I'm going to go with the Seahawks' only option in this game offensively is Jimmy Graham. I'm thinking 1 to 2 touchdowns. He has one of the highest rates of targets for the red zone. So I think they're going to go with Jimmy Graham when they get down there.
Why not a little Marquise Lee? Why not?
I don't trust him.
It's Bortles.
He had a good week last week, so he's going to have a bad week this week. Bortles?
His quarterback is Bortles.
That's your theory, not ours, man.
His quarterback is Bortles. That's my theory.
Again, guys, I can't take D.D. Westbrook because I don't know who he is. Jimmy Graham's literally the safest pick in the history of picks. I think, what is he leading the league in touchdown receptions? Am I right there?
Pretty darn close if he's not already the leader, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take Marquise Lee. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, Lee is right.
That's what I'm going to
Lee is right. You got Lee right.
Or should I just take Russell Wilson?
Okay, so the Ravens are going to go to the Steelers. Steelers are a 7-point favorite. Mixon did well against them early on until he got hurt. And so I think maybe Alex Collins will also do well early. Not overly confident in this pick. I just feel that maybe early on in the game he'll do okay.
I'm going to take Joe Flacco in this game. And if Jake Rudock is not starting for the Lions.
No more of this. Nobody can keep track of this.
I've got it. I just clearly.
I got it down.
Joe Flacco is my quarterback of the week. Because, look, all right, the Steelers are playing. They're going to come off a short week, having played last night. They're going to be without Ryan Shazier. And Joe Flacco has actually played very well in the last couple of weeks. And if he picks up 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, it's easy money.
So is Flacco your quarterback of the week?
If Jake Rudock doesn't play. You know what? Surprisingly, Joe Flacco will be my quarterback of the week because I can't believe this, but Joe Flacco only costs $200 more on DraftKings than Jake Rudock does.
So are you going because he did the old W?
Because he made fun of Jameis Winston, eat the W? No.
The W?
No. I actually want to cut anybody's hand off that does that.
I think that is made so many
the most ridiculous thing. What?
If Flacco isn't the number 1 QB this week, you have to do that on the show next week.
I have to eat a W if Flacco isn't the. No.
Yeah.
I will say if Flacco is not a top 5 QB, I'll eat the W.
All right.
Flacco will be a top 5 QB.
That's fair.
All right.
What do you think, listener?
I think that we all should have picked Alex Collins up like that first week when he came in the football game. Don't you think that? Like,
I think every owner is thinking that.
I watch him run, and man, I just get excited, and then I'm immediately just depressed because I did nothing about it. I like Alex Collins. I actually think the Ravens win this game. Whether it's Flacco or Collins, whatever, I think that they both have good games. So I'm just hedging there, and I don't care what you guys think about it. So. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay.
Moving on to the Monday night game, the New England Patriots are at the Miami Dolphins. The New England Patriots are favored by 11 points in this game. Patriots defense, done. I don't care if it's Jay Cutler. I don't care if it's Matt Moore. The Dolphins are really not good on offense, and the Patriots are increasingly better every week on defense. So I will take the Patriots.
And the Cooks had 7 targets the last time they played, and now that Gronk is out, and Gronk had 8 targets last game. I see those all going to Cooks, or at least half of them going to Cooks.
Right.
Cooks is my wide receiver of the week. Should have a big night against the Dolphins. And Brady, last time they played, threw 4 touchdowns. I don't see them going to the run game. Last time they went with the run game against the Dolphins, it was Lewis for 100 yards, but it seems like they've been moving to Burkhardt, but Lewis played a lot. But I think it's going to be a passing game. Cooks for maybe 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Gronk's appealing.
That's not getting dropped.
But I don't know how that is.
It's all or nothing.
They'll figure it out this week.
Yeah,
I actually think it was already figured out. He's already lost.
They're both him and Schuster are suspended.
Okay, done. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Lewis quietly, he's racked up a lot of yards in the last few weeks on the ground. They just give him Burkhardt the touchdowns.
Yeah.
Which is, the Patriots. So I don't know. I think Brady has a huge game. That's kind of a weak thing for me to say. But I think Lewis continues to rack up yards. But I actually think you're safe with any Patriots running back this week, because I just think they're going to destroy these guys.
Yeah, it'll be a blowout.
Well, I don't think you're safe with James White. If you have James White, I wouldn't play him this week, because it's either going to be the Burkhardt or the Lewis show this week. Patriots against their rivals like to put the run on, and I don't think they're going to use White at all or need him at all.
Fair enough.
So now we jump into our who would you rather selection. So the first question I have is, Vidi, for you and myself, who loses their job first? Hugh Jackson at Cleveland or John Fox at the Bears?
John Fox. The Bears are going to get – the Bears believe that they have their quarterback in Mitch Trubisky. Whether they're right or wrong, who knows? But John Fox is not a quarterback coach. He's not an offensive coach. He's going to get fired, then they're going to bring in an offensive-minded coach for him.
See, and I think Trubisky is going to be did I say Trubisky? I mean, Hugh Jackson's going to be the guy that's going to get fired. I think Hugh's going to get fired at Cleveland. It's his second year. I don't think they've seen any growth from him. Granted, they haven't given him the players that they need. But if Fox has at least made the transition to Trubisky earlier than maybe the ownership thought or the brain trust thought, and he's at least won a game. So I don't think Hugh Jackson has done anything. His best chance is if Gordon goes off and maybe they get a win somewhere. But I think he's going to be gone. Andy, do you think there's who do you think is right, or do you think that there's a guy that's going to get fired before that?
I mean, I think that Cleveland, I think that Cleveland's going to clean house again, which I think is a terrible idea just based on the fact that this is what they've done every 1, 2, 3 years, no matter what. I mean, where was the last head coach that lasted more than 2 or 3 years there in Cleveland? I can't think of one.
But I think starting over with a new coach doesn't mean that they're completely starting over.
Well, you guys got into this, I can't remember on which podcast, but I mean, the fact that whether you were or were not going after AJ McCarron, that's I can't remember which podcast.
Yep.
Was it this one or was it the quarterback?
I think it was this one.
I think it was the Packers podcast.
We
had Paul Dishler on.
Yeah, it was the other podcast.
Okay, right.
With the Cleveland fan.
That's just whether you're incompetent or you're just – everybody needs to go there. If it doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't really know – I don't know who the Bears GM is, but John Fox – he's just as bad. Is there anybody that's more disinterested on the sideline than John Fox?
Jay Cutler.
Pagano.
I don't know.
McAdoo.
I think it's a great question because you're both. It's just a shame.
Do you have a candidate that could be fired beforehand?
Well, I just think that I just want to say this. I actually think that Hugh Jackson is a legit football coach. And I think that he's kind of got the raw end of the stick both in Oakland and in Cleveland. Oakland during those years was an absolute grease fire, and he walked into the same thing in Cleveland. I just feel bad for the guy.
Yeah,
and he walked out of Oakland at 8-8 and got fired.
Right.
He turned a dumpster fire into 8-8 and got fired.
Right. So I don't know. I think that both of these guys are going, and I just feel bad for Hugh because I think he's just got to pick better jobs to apply for.
Right.
You got anybody else that would go earlier?
I think that McCarthy. Can I? That's just
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in.
All right. That's the other podcast. We'll see after this week. Now, good question though. If Cleveland beats the Packers, yeah, maybe he should. Okay, second question of who would you rather? Would you rather take Russell Wilson at the Jaguars or Kirk Cousins at the Chargers? Vidi, what do you got?
I'm going to take Russell Wilson. I know that the Jags have a great pass rush. That's fine.
And they're good at stopping the run.
Well, yeah, but Russell Wilson isn't handing the ball off to anybody. All of his yards are going to be rushing yards. All of his TDs are going to be rushing TDs. He's just going to scramble for his life. The Seahawks have scored one touchdown that didn't include Russell Wilson in it.
I'm literally scared for Russell Wilson's life this week.
Which is why he's going to run for a lot of yards.
He may not survive.
He's the hottest player in the league.
Right? Give him a little bit of credit.
Keenan Allen's pretty hot. He has 45 catches in like 3 games. You said it.
Yeah.
I mean, Viddy's stat, whatever stat they put up Sunday night there was insane. Like, he's accounted for 83% of
right.
of Seattle's it's insane.
Yeah.
See, I'm going with Cousins. I think they're going to get blown out, and he needs to pass, and so he's going to end up with a better fantasy day than Wilson.
Yeah, but the Chargers defense is tough too. That's a tough defense.
Yeah, he may end up the more he has to throw, the more he may end up with 4 or 5 interceptions.
Oh yeah, but he'll just keep slinging it to. Well, is Reed going to play, or is it going to be Davis? It's that same game. Like, which tight end?
That's the same game he's played with all year.
Yeah.
Either way, I really appreciate your ability to take risks, Aaron. Really, really appreciate it.
Well, that's what we do on this show. We're the average man, just trying to give you some terrible advice.
Yep. Just trying to steer you away from all the players you should be taking.
Yeah.
I can't believe Mercedes Lewis's name hasn't been mentioned.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Absolutely right.
Not against the Seattle defense. No way.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
All right, moving on to the daily recap of the daily fantasy headliners. I was forced to narrow my quarterbacks down to 1 pick, so I will take Joe Flacco for $4,700 on DraftKings. I will take Lamar Miller for $5,800 on DraftKings, and I will take Jason Witten for $4,700.
And I'm going to take Eli Manning for $4,800. I'm going to take Howard for $5,400, and my wide receiver is Cooks for $7,800 on that one. Little fantasy story, daily fantasy story for you. Last week, I joined myself into a 10 or 12 team fantasy, daily fantasy DraftKings pick, and nobody's joining. So I invite Viddy, and then I invite another friend who plays on daily fantasy.
Oh yeah, I appreciate.
We just play the afternoon, early afternoon games. Yep. All of a sudden, I'm at the bottom, and those two that I invite are at the top, and they both end up winning the cash at the end of it. And I lose, and I'm like, oh, well, great, good for me.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you inviting me.
Considering I was going to end up being 10th that day, I might as well let my friends win the money instead of some randoms.
Well, I'm glad I used to line up somewhat to win money.
Andy, do you play any daily fantasy?
0, 100%.
Maybe you should look into it. It's pretty fun.
You should probably look into it.
I'll say that I will, and then I definitely won't. But
honesty's the best policy. Good job.
Well, thanks for coming on, Andy.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate that.
This was a very fun show. Went a little bit longer than we normally do, and so listeners, I hope you enjoy it. Good luck out there.
Have a great week. Good luck, everybody.
Thanks for having me, guys.